Hey everybody, I want to address some concerns I have over this Saturday's game against Ole Miss, okay? For some reason, a lot of people are underrating my Jackets in this matchup, and what only I can assume is ignorance. Because clearly we're a much better team this year than last. If you've watched our games, it's obvious. If you watched any of us last year and any of us this year, it's obvious we're much better than last year. For some reason, we're still coming out as 20 and a half point underdogs against teams like Ole Miss, and I just don't get it. I mean, obviously easy money. I laid down money this Saturday. I laid down some on the money line, plus 840 odds my Jackets have of beating Ole Miss, and it's crazy that I can get that good of money because it's not that big of a gap between Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. In fact, I think Georgia Tech can win. Okay, Ole Miss is not even the toughest game we play on our schedule. They're not even really a tough game. You want to talk about overrated? It's Ole Miss these past couple years. Okay, this year and last year, Ole Miss has been completely overrated and overvalued and overhyped and everything you want to say, okay? Lane Kiffin, most overrated coach in the country, all right? His offense is overrated, okay? Everything about Ole Miss is fool's gold, okay? And I'm not buying it, okay? What I am buying is what Brent Key's doing at Georgia Tech, baby. And we're going to be putting the hurt on them this Saturday. I'm here to let you know. If you're an Ole Miss fan who thinks that, we're just going to come up in there and take a whooping like last year, it's just not going to happen, okay? Last year, Georgia Tech was a disaster. We lost 40-0, but we are not the same team, okay? We're not the same team like Ole Miss is the same team. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is a surprise to some Ole Miss fans or something, but some teams actually improve year to year. Unlike Ole Miss, who's the same crappy team, overrated team as last year, Georgia Tech's actually much better than last year, and so much better, in fact, that we're going to completely flip the script on this series, and we're going to come around and get a win against Ole Miss at home. And they're, guess what? Overrated home field advantage, okay? They are completely overlooking and disrespecting us for a few reasons. Well, first of all, last year they beat us 42-0. I already explained that's ridiculous. We are clearly not the same team as last year. Second of all, Lane Kiffin stays up at night thinking about beating Nick Saban, and he smells blood in the water now that Nick Saban and Alabama have lost to Texas. Okay, so he thinks that he's going to, be able to get a win over Nick Saban now, which he's not. Okay, he's not even going to get a win over Georgia Tech. You can forget about Alabama. You can forget about Alabama. You got to get past Georgia Tech first. They're going to be overlooking us. And that combined with that they beat us so bad last year, and they got Alabama next week. I mean, it's going to be rough. First of all, you're not beating Alabama. You're not beating Georgia Tech. And when you get into the SEC West schedule, it's not going to be good for you either. I mean, last year, you started out hot against your, soft schedule to start the year out, and then lost every meaningful game you had on the schedule. Embarrassing, including a freaking bowl loss to Texas Tech where you got blown out. And that's what Lane Kiffin wants to leave, and they beg him to come back, give him a raise and extension. They want more of that crap. You beg that same freaking overrated coach to come back and beg for more embarrassment. Most teams would that's not a high enough standard, and they would be unhappy with that performance. But Ole Miss fans want to put up statues of them and beg them to keep coming back, to keep underperforming. I don't get it. So, whatever, man. You're going to cruise past your crappy games against freaking Ole Miss and Tulane. You can't even, you barely squeak by Tulane. That's another thing that doesn't make sense. They raise up in the rankings after barely squeaking by a freaking crappy Ole Miss team. Like, Ole Miss, crappy Tulane team, which Tulane, okay, didn't even have their quarterback. And guess what? We have a much better offense than Tulane, okay? We have a much better offense than them, so you're in for a rude awakening if you think that we're not going to put up 40 points on you. I mean, at least 40 points on you, okay? Your defense is not that good, and we're going to put up a bunch of points on you. Hope you can keep up. Might be able to run on us. We don't have that good of a run defense. But it's not going to be the story of 42-0 again this year. I'm just letting you know. So you won't be surprised. But, a lot of these redneck hillbillies out in Ole Miss can't understand the concept of a team getting better next year from one year to the next. Probably because Ole Miss is in a purgatory there with Lane Kiffin, and he shows no improvement, yet keeps getting contract extensions and raises. So I know Ole Miss fan can't comprehend the concept of getting better from one year to the next, but that's what Georgia Tech's done. Georgia Tech is going to come up into Ole Miss there and get a big-time win. Come on, this Saturday night. And your boy here, sprinkle a little on the money line, and I'm going to get $250 whenever my Jackets pull this one out. So it's okay. This will be first of many teams this year. Georgia Tech's going to upset because we've been overlooked. Ole Miss just happens to be the first victim. So, hate to tell you, but I'll see you guys Saturday night. I'm stoked for this game. I'm stoked for my Jackets to come out with a huge upset victory. I know a lot of people are saying that, this weekend is, not got any crappy games. How about a primetime game where 20.5-point underdogs upset overrated freaking SEC West team and continue the ACC dominance? Go Jackets. I'll see you guys next time.